All right, let's talk about how to analyze wholesale real estate deals fast. Fast, okay? We'll talk about this in just a few minutes, okay? Um, it's very simple, okay? It's simple, and even in transition markets like the one we have right now, where there's longer days on the market, okay? There's longer days on the market. There's high inventory, higher increasing inventory, and the interest rate, mortgage interest rate has kind of stabilized a little bit. So the buyers have more options. Okay. But if you're selling, it's spending longer days on the market. And if you're looking at comparables, you need to be looking at no less than, no more than 6 months into the past. What is a comparable? A comparable house that sold, a comparable house doing analyzing that sold within the last 6 months. You can extend that a little bit longer in okay markets, like 9 months, 12 months, when markets are stable. But when markets are tight, like what we're looking at right now, so like sales are not happening fast enough, you need to be a little bit stricter with your numbers. For me personally, I have an evergreen formula. I only use 6 months or less. Okay. And if the market gets way too tight, like in the form of a recession, like what happened in 2008, you have to take it down to 3 months. They're not going to look at sales that happened beyond 3 months into the past because the banks want to protect their money, obviously. Okay. So with that being said, let's talk about, 1 second here. Okay, let's talk about how to analyze some of these deals. Okay, you're locking down a deal in minutes, not hours, because you know how to look at this a house, ask a couple of questions. One of the questions you should be asking is like, how much repair does it need? Does it need cosmetics? Does it need a major repair? I think it might need a roof. Not major, but it needs a roof. That's kind of like medium. You need to be able to estimate pretty quickly some kind of like just a ballpark number because again, there will be more than enough opportunities for due diligence. Okay, so you want to spend minutes, not hours, because your competitions will still be running numbers. You are the winner. They will still be busy running numbers over analyzing everything, but you need to be able to analyze deals fast and accurately. Simple rule, 70% rule. 70%. You cannot pay more than the 70% of the fair market value of that property if it was in a perfect condition. Let me repeat that. You cannot pay more than as a wholesale dealer, right? Because your job is to find deals for investors so you can fix up the house and sell it. Okay. Your job is also, sidebar bonus. Your job is to find the best deals in the market for your own portfolio with built-in equity, right? You're not paying retail price because you know better, because you know about my Empire Pro. Okay. So you can't pay more than 70% of the after repair value of a piece of property. That's the 70% rule. Okay. So it's very simple. It's a very simple formula. You multiply the ARV, okay, the after repair value by 70%. How do you find out what the ARV? Hold on 1 second, just hold tight, okay? How do you find out what the ARV is? I'll come back to that, okay? 0.7 is the same thing as 70%, okay? So you can't pay more than 70% of the after repair value, assuming the house is in perfect condition. If the house wasn't in perfect condition, then you need to estimate the cost of repair. Okay. I just said estimate. It will never be accurate. You just need to be able to come up with something real quick. So wherever the local vicinity you're dealing with, you kind of need to know the area a little bit and know but you can Google your way into being able to estimate some of this stuff. Okay. Mild work, cosmetic work, 20 to $30,000. Okay. Needs roof, needs new bathrooms, new kitchen, but everything is still perfect in terms of pipes and stuff, internal central air. Okay, you're looking at about $70,000. Okay, it needs major gut work, 120 to $130,000 in terms of repair estimated cost. How do you find out this information? You ask the homeowner when you're talking to them. Okay, remember you're prospecting, you're talking to them. So you ask them and they'll give you. And sometimes they will even give you the cheat sheet. They might be like, okay, we had a contractor came out to take a look at things. Many of them will tell you that. And then you just say, look, so what was the estimate? And then you take that down, you write that down. You mark it up a little bit by $5,000, $10,000, right? And then you do your math. So ARV multiplied by 70% minus the estimated cost of repair will become your maximum allowable offer. Okay, you can use PropStream. PropStream, you can try it out for free. It's linked up in the description box. It actually spit out the number for you in many ways, and there's a way you can tweak it around. And so a lot of the tools you're going to need to do this is in there. So you want to be able to make this kind of offers fast, you need PropStream. Okay, it makes your life easier. And then obviously, if you understand these three, there's two variables here. There's repair estimate, and there's after repair, right? You can spot red flags about properties just by having these conversations. All right. You can spot red flags that quick. Okay. Plus, again, the way we've done this math, 70% kind of factor in a lot of things that can go wrong. You can push that 70% number to up to 85% if you're dealing with $1 million homes. If you're dealing with properties that are less than $100,000, you need to be at around 55%. Okay, because you need enough spread to be able to pay closing costs and to be able to make some money, because it's pointless if you can't make any money. Okay, so comparables are easier. I'm not going in this time and age, I'm not going to encourage you to start doing things manually. I'm going to tell you to get the tools, the automation you need to move things fast. And the only and the tool that I recommend for you is PropStream. Okay, everything is in there, even including management of contact as a CRM, especially as a starter. Everything you need to get going, it's in there. Okay, so 70% rule, 70% room, there's wiggle room depending on if you're dealing with a $1 million home or you're dealing with any home under $100,000 in terms of the value in the neighborhood. Okay, so 55 to 85%, but the real number you're looking at is 70%. Generally, I'm at around 65%, generally speaking. Okay, and again, you need tools. Okay, you need to understand how this works, but just use tools. Okay, remember we're talking about how to analyze wholesale real estate deals fast in minutes and not hours. So use tools, use PropStream. You can try it out for free in there and play around with it, and then you can decide if you want to keep it after the trial or not. Okay, but consistency is key in all of this. Okay, so now you can analyze and lock in deals fast. Okay, you can send over contract, say this is the offer I'm making. And remember, whatever you offer you make, all of that is changeable. Okay, it's just all the conversation. Okay, if for some reason your numbers are off, your numbers need to be right. So, but what it means is that you can always correct it, right? You can say, hey, I think we overestimated what we think we can pay for your property. Are you open to negotiations? What's the worst they're going to do? Cancel the deal, right? That's the worst they're going to do. Remember, you're working with volume here. So in the grand scheme of things, somebody canceling a deal is not a big deal because we're consistent. We're winners. I hope that makes sense. Now let's talk about how to close these deals profitably, especially the big ones. That's where the double closing comes in, right? All right. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.